Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Oh, man. I don't know what the weather's like where you're listening right now. We're based out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and it's pretty friggin' hot. But I dig it. I am here for it. My name is Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall, former elected official and tax-cutting machine, is right next to me. And Rob, when given the option of having 100-plus degree heat indices, because it's not a heat index anymore, it's heat indices, or freezing your nays off in the middle of January, you have to get up and scrape your car or warm up your car. When you take the trash out, your ears freeze, your face freeze. I'll sign up for 100 damn degrees every time.
Yeah, and here's my theory on that. You're going to be miserable regardless, right? So, as being miserable and a parent of a toddler, I can take her to the splash pad as the babysitter when it's 100 degrees out. I'm just stuck indoors when it's minus 20.
Yeah, you're right. Options become limited. Like, I'm not miserable in this heat. Now, I don't lay concrete for a living. I don't work road construction. I'm not a roofer. God bless those badasses. Those crazy sons of bitches out there in this stuff. God bless you. But, man, I can deal with this. I can put some shorts on. I'm a dude. I can take my shirt off and have my big floppy man boobs walking around. But in the middle of winter, like, I don't want to layer up. I don't want to take my jacket into the gym or into the movie theater, like, or into the restaurant. I hate carrying a coat around. It sucks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if you had to choose what, pick your hell on earth, I think you're choosing the 100 degrees every single time.
So the last time we spoke, Rob, you were, to quote Bon Jovi, living on a prayer. You had made a bet at the NBA All-Star break for the Indiana Pacers to win the NBA championship. What was the number?
125 to 1.
125 to 1. And then something happened. The Pacers got hot. The Pacers got healthy. The Pacers got home court advantage in the first round. The Pacers upset the number 1 seed in the second round. The Pacers beat the New York Knicks in the Garden twice to punch a ticket to the NBA Finals, and there they stole Game 1. They were up 2 games to 1. And in Game 7, the winner-take-all moment, 125 to 1 in the balance, Rob, Tyrese Halliburton goes down with an Achilles injury. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to have some mood music for your 125 to 1 bet.
Didn't we almost have it all?
You almost had it. Didn't you almost have it all, Rob?
We had a lead at halftime, Hammer. Even without Halliburton, they were winning at half.
125 to 1. And the Pacers came out of the gate. They looked sharp.
They did.
They looked good. Tyrese Halliburton was fearless. He had 9 points in 7 minutes. He was woofing at fans. He let everybody know, hey, Pacers are here. We're not scared of the moment. Let's go. And then the basketball gods, who had been the angel on the shoulder of Tyrese Halliburton all season long, all postseason long, decided to turn into that devil as he laid there on the court.
There was a commercial. I don't know if it's still on or not. It's some old guy, and he's got $1 on a fishing line, and the thing, he pulls it back and goes, up, almost had it. Almost had it.
That's right.
What the Allstate or somebody, I can't remember who it is.
Right.
But that was us. Now, I think I made a mistake in the fact that I spent my 125 to 1 winnings.
You'd already spent it.
Yeah, because how are they going to lose that game? We got Mr. Magic on our side.
You know who you are? You're that character in The Sopranos that ran the hardware store, the sporting goods store, the gambling degenerate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but when I go back and watch those episodes as a fellow gambling degenerate, it just makes my heart beat knowing what that dude's doing.
Yeah, so I'll be drinking water with my meals at the Qdoba for quite some time. And, that's they were so close ever. What an incredible – here's the thing. So I do the midday show on WIBC in Indianapolis. You do the afternoon show. And one of the cool things about the 125-1 bet is 125-1 just became a person. We just referenced it as 125-1, and our audience just embraced it and knew what it was, as though it had feelings.
It did have feelings. To quote the viral video of the hillbilly at the wrestling convention, it's still real to me, damn it.
Yeah, that's right. And, I got a lot of good out of the paltry bet I made on 125-1. I got a lot of good for the show out of that. It was well worth the money I put into it.
And it was such an emotional ride, too. Buzzer beaters and just ridiculous shots like the one against the Knicks going in to force the overtime. I mean, you got taken on a ride.
Yeah, you did. And one of the things we talked about on the show is sports, unlike maybe anything other than music, I guess, in some level does this, it marks time. Like events that are going on in your life, you think about what was going on in sports, especially if there was some big sporting event. So, like, I specifically remember when Reggie Miller scored the 9 points in 8 minutes.
8 seconds.
8 seconds. 18 minutes. 9 points in 8 seconds. I remember where I was when that happened. Like, I remember being a 10, 11-year-old kid with my parents in the car when it happened. I remember Reggie Miller giving the choke sign to Spike Lee after winning that amazing game in the Garden. I remember the Pacers in the NBA Finals in 2000. You remember moments in your life around sports, and what I will remember about this run is all the places I was and people I was hanging out with and fun I had watching those games.
You didn't have those moments as an elected official?
I had no fun as an elected official because I gave a damn about the taxpayers. That's the best way to have no fun whatsoever.
So now that the NBA season is in the rearview mirror, we kind of hit that point in the sports betting calendar where unless you're really into baseball, you kind of got to find other things to keep yourself occupied, right? Whether it's horse racing, auto racing, big tennis or golf tournaments, things like that. The hot dog eating contest is coming up where Joey Chestnut is back in the mix. But relax. The NFL Hall of Fame game is in late July this year.
Yeah.
So really, we're like a month away from talking about football games, Rob.
Yeah, it is the doldrum period. And that was the cool thing about the Pacers for us here in Indianapolis was it gave you an extra month of having something to care about.
Right, 100%. But now we turn our attention on this program to Major League Baseball. And I'm going to have a play for you tonight coming up in just a moment. But first, let's check in with our future bets because I remember back in February, we sat down to do this show. You and I each made a couple future bets on World Series champions. How are yours looking so far?
Well, I did, for fun, I did a tippy-top kind of team on the odds, and then I did a mid-tier team. I mean, let's face it, unless you get super lucky, those, 300-1s or whatever, not panning out. Like, if you're taking the Pirates, you just know that's not panning out. So I took the Mets at 11-1, and I took the Cubs at 30-1. So thus far, toes are still tapping on both of those.
The Cubs at 30-1 was a really good value because that division stinks.
The Stinksville, yes, and that's why we did it.
I took a flyer on the Phillies, which was my favorite, at 10-1. And right now, I feel pretty good. They're 47-33. At the time of this podcast here on June 26th at noon, they're first in the National League East, which is a pretty competitive division. I'll take that. My longer shot was the Detroit Tigers at 30-1. And they were the first team to win 50 games this year. They may have the Cy Young winner. I think they've got the best closer in baseball, Will Vest. Riley Green's having a great offensive year for him. Again, Skubal, the clear ace of that rotation. I love the Tigers, man. Now, you're still going to have to get over probably the Astros and some of the teams that spend a little bit more money.
Here's the thing about baseball, too, that's unlike any other sport. The better team doesn't always win because pitching is such a big part of the equation. You get into playoffs, you get a team that gets hot at the right time, the rotation just clicks. You could have upsets all over the place, especially in these play-in games, because it just comes down to pitching.
And if you have a dude that just gets hot, you can ride that lightning. Go back to the 2015-16 Chicago Cubs. Like, signing John Lester was like the big free agent signing. But that window of Jake Arrieta.
Jake the Snake, baby.
Jake freaking Arrieta was a bad mamma jamma.
29-1 during a window in that. 29-1.
Multiple no-hitters.
Yes.
Like, one of them was against the Dodgers.
Yes.
Like, so you find the dudes, and they get hot at the right time, you can make a run at this thing. So those were our future bets. We feel pretty good about them right now. Still, we're approaching the halfway mark of the Major League Baseball season. Keep an eye on that. But if you don't want to wait till the end of the season for a little gambling satisfaction, I have got action for you tonight.
I want action tonight, satisfaction all night.
You have a future on the Mets, right?
That's right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in tonight. Braves at the Mets. Pretty good little battle in the National League East here. Braves are a slight road favorite tonight. Mets are at home. Now, I'm looking at FanDuel here, and I see the over-under at 8.5. That's a pretty low number because, for the most part, Mets games at home, a lot of numbers, a lot of high-scoring games at home. Usually, looking at the trend, the Mets go over at home. But this is a pretty good pitching matchup tonight. Harrison Holmes is on the hill for Atlanta. Now, his record isn't that good, 4-6. But records don't mean crap. Look what Paul Skeen's record is with the Pirates.
True. Yeah.
And that dude's got an ERA like under 2.
That's right.
Meanwhile, the Mets are going out there tonight with Griffin Canning, who's 7-3. He's got an ERA at 3.9. So both dudes on the hill tonight have ERAs at 3.9 or lower. So I like the pitching matchup here, so I'm not going to touch that total. But what I will touch is the first 3 innings bet. And again, this is something you can make at FanDuel. I'm going Mets money line, first 3 innings. Not because I love the Mets, but for whatever reason, the Braves get out to crappy starts. The Braves have trailed after 3 innings in 10 of the last 13 night games.
Wow.
10 out of 13 night games, they've trailed after 3. Now, they've rallied after that, but give me the Mets at home with a pretty good pitcher on the hill to have the lead after 3. Mets money line, first 3 innings.
Hey, just to clarify, because a lot of people listen are experienced gamblers, but we get some novices as well. That means they have to have the lead, correct? If
Correct.
it's a tie, you lose.
Correct.
Yeah, so you got to have the lead.
I want the lead, I'm betting the lead, and I want the Mets.
Can I also just say, it is insane. I mean, insane in a good way. Like, I'm impressed that you do such research that you're able to find how many times the Braves have trailed after 3 innings at night.
I might not remember my anniversary, Rob. Sometimes I struggle remembering my kid's birthday. But I know what Griffin Canning's ERA is, and I know what the Mets and Braves do at night when who's home, who's away matters. I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, you're like, when's Harold's birthday? You don't even have a kid named Harold.
Right. Real quick before we hit a break and bring on a couple professional handicappers here, since we're talking about the Mets, can I tell you about my new favorite player in Major League Baseball?
Sure.
There's a dude that was called up for the Mets. And he's got a name that sounds like a character in an Austin Powers movie. Dickie Lovelady. Have you heard about Dickie Lovelady?
I actually saw this guy got called up the other day. There was a big, one of the Twitter feeds had the guy's name on there, and that is quite the name.
I mean, that sounds like something you'd hear in an Austin Powers movie.
This might be the best name in baseball. Dickie Lovelady.
Enter Dickie Lovelady, the new Mets sensation.
It's a man, baby.
Hold on to your hats, Mets fans. Meet Dickie Lovelady, a 29-year-old pitcher.
The name of the new player, Dickie Lovelady.
The greatest name in sports. Dickie Lovelady is a Met.
It's a man, baby. It's a man, baby. It's a man, baby.
Dickie Lovelady, let's go Mets. Moneyline, first 3 innings tonight. We got professional handicappers coming up next. David Stephanoff of Follow Never Fade will join us, and Kenny Britt of KB Sports. He's up next. We are the Degenerates Next Door. Back on the Degenerates Next Door. I'm Jason Hammer, Rob Kendall right across from me. And what I love about this show is Rob and I, not professional handicappers, although we put our records up against anybody. We put our knowledge up against anybody. But we do bring on real professional handicappers, people who do this stuff professionally. And one of our favorites is Kenny Britt of KB Sports. He's a big, hairy American winning machine. KB, how are you?
I'm great. The Pacers, they made us proud this year. They really did. Great season. I haven't listened to the rest of the show yet, Jason. I don't know how much you guys have talked about. Just kind of a little recap. Moving forward for the Pacers, they got some problems. They got some holes to fill next year with Halliburton out.
Yeah, and that's the kick at the crotch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to have him go down and not available for Game 7, but then the basketball gods, who had been on his shoulder this entire season, decide to get even with him at the most important part of his professional career, and not only screws Game 7, but now he's out all of next year.
You sent a text out last year when he got hurt, and I still remember it to this day, and I still use the quote. It says, "We can never have anything nice."
Yeah, we can't have nice things. We can't.
Or maybe that's how you said it exactly. So, it does suck. It does suck, but they still, what they done was an amazing run this year. Before I give my opinion, I want to say I've got 1,000% faith in Kevin Pritchard. I think him, Brad Stevens, and Sam Presti are top tier. I think there's a big gap after them three as far as executives in the NBA. But, in my opinion, there's two options. You go out and you get a 1-year lease on a guy, I hate to say this name, but like Westbrook, or you just let Nembhard run the show, bring Mathurin in as a shooting guard. I mean, what else do you do? It sounds like they are dead set on keeping Miles Turner, which, I love the kid. You don't want anything bad to happen to him or him to leave, but I just don't know if he's going to be worth a big contract to us with what we've got on the bench. I mean,
and the Pacers are already giving 2 max deals right now. Halliburton re-upped a couple of years ago. He's on a max deal. Siakam is on a max deal. Pacers have never gone into the luxury tax before, but to his credit, the ownership, Simon, said, if we got a window for a championship, we'll totally do it. But then your star goes down with an Achilles injury, so now you've got to make that decision. Do we want to keep this together and view next year as just kind of a cross your fingers, see what we can do thing? Do you tank? Do you try to run it back? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, TJ's not a full season starter. He's a kamikaze. We love him, but he's not a full season starter. And again, I have 100% faith in Pritchard. I think he makes great decisions. But I don't know. I mean, Miles Turner's not a max contract guy, right? I mean,
he's going to get one from somebody, but you're right. In theory, the answer is no.
The answer is, in theory, the answer is no. He's not a max contract guy. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. And if I had to make the decision, outside looking in, I'm going to say just let Nembhard run the show. That makes him better for the following year. Let Mathurin get all that playing time at the shooting guard.
Right.
And, just go with what we got. And you brought up a good point to Simon. I just want to, here in Indianapolis, we've had 2 of the best ownerships in Major League Sports you can have with the Simons and the Irsays. And wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, Irsay certainly has been more colorful, to say the least, but nobody can complain about the ownership. The dude wants to win. He'll do what it takes to win. He did when he was alive, and it sounds like his daughters, who are now running the show, may be even more competitive than he is.
You know what? I'm glad you brought up his daughters. I can't think of the oldest one's name that's going to kind of run stuff, but a couple of years ago, we were all kind of making fun of her for doing the thing on the sideline with the headset and the play sheet and all that, blah, blah, blah. But after I read more about what she's done in the last couple of months, I mean, she wants to learn. She legitimately wants to learn who's doing what, why, when, and where, so she can understand how to, what decisions to make. And I think that's badass.
Right.
I think that's totally cool that she's doing that.
I'm with you.
Or that she did that.
Let's go back to the NBA for just a second here.
Sure.
So you look at the Celtics. It looks like they're starting to trade off some pieces. Tatum's going to be out pretty much all of next year. The Pacers, back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. They're without their star all of next year. Philadelphia looks like they're on the downward spiral here. So if you're handicapping the East, if you're looking at a future bet for an Eastern Conference champion, does it come down to right now on June 26th, before a lot of the trades and things like that may get crazy? Is it Cleveland? Is it New York? Or is it somebody else?
That is an absolutely great question. Detroit is going to just be better next year with that nucleus. Orlando traded for Bain from Memphis, so they're going to automatically be. They just had trouble scoring points last year. They couldn't score.
I think Atlanta's going to be better.
Atlanta's going to be. Oh my God, they're loaded. Yeah, and then they just got Porzingis, right? So, Jason, the East is loaded, and I think value-wise, the Hawks are going to be pretty doggone good. Detroit's going to be really good. So. I'm not sold on Cleveland. I've never have been. They're fun to watch, but I've never been. I know they were the number one seed, but I was just never a big Cleveland fan for some reason.
Let me throw another name out there for you, and
okay.
It's Milwaukee. As long as you have Giannis and he's healthy, it feels like you could be in every game, and they look like a team that would be willing to make a deal at the trade deadline, like they've done in the past, to try to get him some kind of help. I feel like Milwaukee is one trade away from being back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you can get them at great value right now.
Are they definitely keeping him? Has that been decided?
Well, there hasn't been a lot of chatter about moving him.
Nothing.
Right.
Now, Lillard's out, right?
Yes.
For the season.
Lillard, he's got an Achilles. Same thing with Tatum and Halliburton.
Yeah, that's nuts. I kind of lean towards they might deal him.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what they're going to do. You're 100% right. There's been zero chatter about it. Zero.
I mean, if you're Milwaukee, you're a small market. He's won a championship with Chris Middleton basically just being the Robin to his Batman. So you know he can do it if he just has healthy, competent help. I think trading away Middleton was a mistake for a washed Dame Lillard. But around the trade deadline, if they can bring in somebody, let's say the Sixers blow it up and Embiid becomes available, the style that he plays, I think, fits Milwaukee. They're not an up and down team. They can't run with the Pacers. That's why the Pacers beat them in the playoffs. They run those old dudes off the court. But if you find some dudes that can slow it down, now you've got options. I think Milwaukee could be in the mix with all these injuries you're seeing in the East.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I know you're really down on the Sixers, and they should blow it up. Nothing's worked for them. Their decision makers are terrible.
And we're still going to see those ass bags on Christmas.
Here we go.
When the schedule comes out, the NBA will, this is the year, they'll finally put the Pacers on Christmas, even though the star is out and they're going to get their ass totally ran off the court.
Oh.
And we're going to get stuck with the damn 76ers like we do every year, and those guys are ass.
What's the deal with Doc Rivers? Why does everybody like him?
Well, that's a great question, Kenny. Great question. I wish I had an answer for it, and I wish I had Doc Rivers' agent, to be honest with you.
Oh, my God. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Hey, you're also a horse racing phenom. That's kind of your bread and butter here. We're at that point in the sports betting lexicon where unless you're into baseball or maybe some of these big-time individual tennis tournaments or golf tournaments, things like that, it's kind of a slow time for the bettor. Let's talk about horse racing here. What are you looking at?
All right, Jason, I appreciate that. We've got this is closing weekend down at Churchill Downs. They'll open back up in September. They've got a really big card on Saturday. It's called Stephen Foster Day. They've got 6 stakes races valued at over $3 million. You've also got Woodbine. They've got 5 stake races valued at $1 million. Laurel's got some stakes races as well. So this Saturday's a really big card at those 3 tracks. Also, next Saturday, July 5th, especially if you're here locally in the Indianapolis area, Horseshoe Indianapolis, they have their Indiana Derby and Indiana Oaks on Saturday, July 5th. I was talking with Eric Hallstrom today. He's the vice president out there. I'm good friends with him. What he's done in the 5 to 6 years that he's been here for horse racing in Indianapolis is underappreciated. Back in the day, the Indiana Derby meant nothing. now the top trainers in the world come out here every year. This year you got Baffert, Cox, Steve Asmussen. The top trainers in the world are bringing their horses out here. Some of them have barns out here full time. So do yourself a favor, check out Horseshoe Indianapolis. They've got great racing all year long, but next Saturday, the Indiana Derby, they've got, I believe it's 8 stakes races for over $1 million. This would have been a joke to say this 7-8 years ago, but Good Cheer, one of the top fillies in the country, started her career last year at Horseshoe Indianapolis, broke her maiden there, went on to win the Kentucky Oaks this year. You couldn't have said that 7 years ago. That would have been on a different planet for Indianapolis.
Right.
So do yourself a favor, get out there, Shelbyville. Some really great horse racing the next couple of weeks at Churchill and Horseshoe Indianapolis. And if you need any help handicapping, that's what I do for a living. KB Sports on Facebook. And as I promised everyone, I didn't do a website. I got on Patreon for all the help from my people. So I'm now on Patreon, KB Sports. You can find me there. I'm still working out stuff, but I am now on Patreon. So I have a backup to my Facebook page in case any of these piece of shit scammers try to attack it.
And you're always accepting new clients, right? If somebody doesn't know a single thing about horse racing, they can reach out to you. You'll put a card together and bada bing, bada boom.
Absolutely. And, next Tuesday is July 1st. Training camp starts in July, and actually the Hall of Fame game is in July this year. So starting on Tuesday, we can talk about football starts this month. We can say this month on Tuesday.
Right on. Hey, my man, be good. We'll talk next week.
All right, buddy. Thank you, sir.
All right, that's Kenny Britt of KB Sports. Coming up next, another professional handicapper giving you his thoughts. David Stephanoff of followneverfade.com. We're going to make him give you a free play as well. That's coming up next here on The Degenerates Next Door. We are rolling on The Degenerates Next Door. I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall is here. And what other show brings on multiple professional handicappers and we make them give out free plays? Damn right we do. David Stephanoff, the man behind followneverfade.com. He's a professional handicapper. My man, how the hell are you?
Hey, thank you, Hammer, for having me. It's a great day here. Real hot here. It's too hot in Indianapolis. It's too hot. Anyways,
I'll never complain about the heat, though. Like, if my options are right now,
hot and cold. Yeah.
Or like in the middle of January, wind chill is minus 20. You got to warm up your car in the morning. You freeze your ass
totally
off
right.
Going out to take the trash out. That sucks.
Totally right. But as we get older, we hate it, Hammer. That's what it is. Shout out to Mayor Brownsburg, Rob, and Kenny. Good to have you this week. Thank you again, Hammer.
You got it, man. And I told Kenny earlier, we've kind of reached that point in the sports betting calendar, unless you're really into baseball. Like, I'm a baseball guy. I love this.
Yes, sir.
But unless you're really into baseball, you kind of got to find some other things to bet on right now, whether it's a major golf event or some auto racing, horse racing, or in your case, David, I know you're really big into UFC and tennis, and you've got action in both for us, right?
Yeah, it's getting back to summertime. Baseball, I'm a diehard like you, Hammer. If you're not at a baseball game, so a lot of people don't like to watch baseball, but you're going to actually go to the baseball game. It's the best. I love it. I can't make serious. We was in Cincinnati this past weekend. We seen the Reds play the new kid, the rookie they had, phenomenal kid.
Chase
Place was
Burns.
packed. And we text each other as we was at the game, Hammer. I said, in 2 days this place will be empty. I like to take advantage of watching baseball. But yeah, we're moving on to Wimbledon. We're moving on to UFC this coming up. It's a slow time, but hey, you can still make some money out there. I'm looking at Hammer. Let me just throw some Wimbledon picks out. Wimbledon starts Monday. I gave out Carlos Alcaraz to everybody here on the podcast for the French Open. I told you what would happen. Wimbledon's a little more wide open, I think. I'm gonna give 4 tennis players. I'm gonna give 2 women, 2 guys, real quick, to win the Wimbledon. Listen, I'm taking stabs. These are all long shots, but I honestly believe Wimbledon's wide open this year, Hammer. I really do. Jack Draper, money 12 plus 1,200. American Taylor Fritz at plus 3,000. I think Jack Draper is he's from England. He'll be a big supporting cast. He's plus 1,200. Young kid. has an awesome left-handed serve. But check him out. Women's side, I really love this 17-year-old chick named Maria Andreeva. She's 17. She's plus 1,300. I'm telling you, Hammer, put you a couple nickels on her, and you'll ride it out to the finals. And my other one is Marquita Vonderosa. She won Wimbledon 2 years ago. She definitely can win this year. She's plus 1,400. Them are 4 long shots I like in Wimbledon. Wimbledon starts off Monday, Hammer, real early in the morning. It's on every channel. ESPN, I think, is covering Wimbledon this year.
And I love the last name Vonderosa because it reminds fat guys like myself of Ponderosa, damn it. And when I was growing up as a kid in Beech Grove, the Ponderosa Steakhouse and Buffet was right on the corner of Emerson and Thompson. After every high school football, basketball, and baseball game, my family would go eat at that Ponderosa. Like, I was like the Norm from Cheers in that place, David. I'd walk in and they just yell, "Hammer!" Oh, it was so good. The wings, damn, I missed that place.
The wings and the rolls, I love that place.
Hell yeah.
Undercover rolls. They always had those rolls at the very end of the salad bar, and you'd always put those were delicious.
Let's dive into some UFC here.
I got UFC goes Saturday night. It's a pretty good card. It's a really good card, honestly. It's fight week, and so they usually try to put the best fights of the whole year during this. But I got a winner for you guys Saturday night. It's on the main card. It's probably going to be about 10:30, 11 o'clock, or probably about 10 o'clock Eastern Saturday night. UFC. I like Joshua Van. He just fought a month ago and knocked a guy out. UFC's hot on this kid. Right now he's money line minus 110 against Brandon Royval, another American. I'm telling people right now, as soon as you get off this podcast, go to UFC and bet Joshua Van money line right now, because this line is going to skyrocket as soon as they do the weigh-ins tomorrow, Hammer. Mark my words. We're on Joshua Van Saturday night, UFC money line. That's a good one, guys.
And if somebody wants to become a client of yours, where can they go?
Hey, Hammer, we're on all platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, winnable.com. You can sign up for, or message me directly, or go to winnable.com. You can sign up for all my plays. Right now, we got WNBA. We just wrapped up NBA. We 55-28 in our NBA playoff run. The WNBA is going. I know a lot of guys don't like to bet the WNBA, but hey, money's to be made everywhere. We're 33-17 in WNBA so far this year, and baseball's going on. We're 201 and 177 in baseball. Not the best, but way better than we started. But you can message me on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. VIP, $100 a week, $250 a month. You get all my plays, every single thing. We're full-fledged French Open. We're full force in UFC going right now. But I want to thank you, Hammer, again. Thank you, Rob. Shout out to Kenny. Hey, I know Kenny's loves them horses. Saturday night, Stephen Foster. I love Mystic Dan number 5, people.
Got
Stephen Foster, Saturday night, Churchill Downs, Mystic Dan, Kenny McPeak. He loves Churchill Downs. But have a great week, Hammer, and I thank you guys for everything you do for me. And shout out to all the other degenerates. But don't forget to follow Never Fade.
My man, we appreciate you. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Sammer.
All right, that's it. We gave you our picks. We got a little baseball. We got a little horse racing. We got some Wimbledon, some UFC. We run the gamut, baby. It's how we get down here on the Degenerates Next Door. So, for the tax-cutting machine, that is Rob Kendall. For Kenny Britt of KB Sports, David Stephanoff of FollowNeverFade.com, I'm Jason Hammer. We will be back next Thursday with an all-new edition of the Degenerates Next Door. Until then, may the odds be ever in your favor.